All right, welcome back, Prospect Live viewers. We're back with another 2020 MLB player profile breakdown. I am, of course, joined courtesy of perfectgame.org by PGs. I'm going to get the title correct this time. National Scouting Supervisor, Brian Sakowski. We're going to be breaking down, I think, one of our favorite arms in this draft. One that I think is a little bit divisive, though. That's lefty out of Tennessee, Garrett Crochet. We can pull up the video right here from Team USA. Actually, this is a guy, in my opinion, where, two pitch mix right off the bat, with these expanded rosters, if he's healthy, if he's drafted by a playoff team, he could technically be used out of the bullpen. I think the fastball slider combo is that lethal. And, there's some people that are in the camp that they do think he has an average to above average change. I think it's pretty firm. But this is an arm that I love. And I think that the fastball and slider really tunnel together well. And it's almost difficult, unless you have the velo, you got the gun in your hand, to tell them apart in terms of which is which just on raw video. So talk to me a little bit about Crochet. I know you have an interesting story the first time you actually caught him by accident. But you have a long history of this guy, so talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on Garrett Crochet.
Yeah. The story is actually it's not often that a guy starts in the SEC as a freshman and I've never heard of him before. Generally speaking, we have history with pretty much every high-end prep player in the country. But Crochet entered the weekend rotation as Tennessee's Friday guy, in 2018, and I was on my way to Kentucky to see a series and stopped in Cincinnati because Tennessee was coming through. And I was going to cross off Zach Lingenfelter's name off the list to see that spring, if you remember that name. And Crochet wound up starting that Friday night against Cincinnati as a true freshman that I'd never heard of. And it was 88-92, good-sized lefty with an average slider, and he pitched really, really well. So just a name to circle and a guy from Southern Mississippi, just an interesting name to follow. And then you progress, and now you're talking about a guy with, when he's healthy and when he's on, his stuff is right there with Asa Lacy's, quite frankly. And we talk about Asa Lacy as the best player or the best pitcher in the class, with the best stuff in the class. When Crochet's on, it's up to 99 with an absolute hammer plus slider and maybe an average changeup. Maybe it's a 45, somewhere in there. But the problem with him this year is that he threw 3 innings. It wasn't a major injury, but he missed the first 3 weeks and then, came back and threw 3 innings and was up to 99 with his fastball. But then COVID, then the shutdown happened. Had he not entered the spring with high mid first round type of buzz, and then things had happened as they had, I still don't think we'd be talking about him in the first round, just because it's a limited profile this spring. But because he came in with a good bit of hype, because he came in having pitched with Team USA, because the stuff is so good when he's healthy, and because it ended up being a minor injury or not a super serious one, I think we're still talking about this guy in the mid first, and it could be shockingly high at some point. I know you and I have heard some things that say he's in play as high as the top 5. Which would be wild, but that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting twist.
Absolutely. And, those top 5 teams, anything that happens up there can, completely turn the draft on its head. And it could be interesting to see that, because I think, we can look back in a year or 2 years time or 3 years time, as things progress. And it wouldn't be shocking if Crochet stays healthy and things progress. He's got the stuff to potentially be, an elite pitching prospect, and deadly lethal, and able to get tons of swings and misses and just keep guys off balance in the lower minors. Now, Lacy obviously has stayed healthy, and that's why he's got the benefit going there, but the stuff is every bit as good. And this is definitely an arm to keep an eye out for. I don't know if you have any idea in terms of where you think he's going to go. I'm still thinking it's probably somewhere mid-round. Maybe the Cubs, the Red Sox could potentially drop to one of those teams. Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, Crochet is one of my favorite arms in this class. Big shout out to 2080 as well for this video. We'll be back with another video, last one of the week, Tanner Burns out of Auburn. Thanks for tuning in.